Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm the King. Welcome back to the channel. As you guys can see on the screen today, we have status update for matchmaking changes. Now, I already went through this and I already read everything. I was doing a stream earlier today when this was announced, and I went through everything and read it, and now I've formulated my opinions a little bit more, and we're gonna go through everything that's here. I'm really excited for this, and I'm happy to bring this to you guys on the channel. But yeah, let's just jump straight on into it. Matchmaking changes. So the first section of this is them explaining what's wrong with matchmaking. I was literally talking about this on stream today before they posted this, and pretty much explained what they did here. They just did a way better job. And yeah, let's just jump on into it. We've observed a growing community concern about matchmaking in recent months. Matchmaking wait times have exceeded our targeted limits, and we're seeing rank disparities fluctuate. In this status update, we will go in details on factors impacting the matchmaking, our current matchmaking system, and our future solutions. So we have a chart right here, and it basically says time, fairness of the opponent's and teammate skill, and the ping or the server location. Above are the three variable factors in matchmaking, with a fourth being the number of players on each role, with an ideal ratio of 4 survivors for 1 killer at all times. When dealing with matchmaking, we need to decide how much to focus on each of the factors. If we focus on one point too much, the other points will see some sort of impact. For example, if we focus on time, your matches are likely to end up being less fair, and you might get paired with people further away. Now, essentially what they're saying here was what I was explaining on stream. It's like yin and yang, where if you want fast queue times, you would have to open up the ranks. And if you open up the ranks, what ends up happening is that you're going to be matched with like rank 20s or rank 15s when you're in the red ranks. So it's either play unfair games but fast queue times, or long queue times fair games. So it's hard to get a beautiful balance between the two, and with this solution that they're going to propose in a second, it can actually achieve that. So let's continue reading. Dedicated servers have helped us ensure a stable connection, with over 90% of players being put into matches with 150% ping and under. So that's great. Dedicated servers were a good success in that aspect. Our goal is to get you into a match as quickly as possible with a good connection without compromising too much on fairness. This is a difficult task in a game like Dead by Daylight, where both sides have different objectives and cannot be directly compared to one another. We've attempted to address this in the past with the emblem system, but upon further review, we've concluded that rank does not directly correlate to skill. And I'm so happy that they said that, where rank does not equal skill. This was a point I've made so many times, and people just are like, oh, you're silly. There's so many people in the red ranks that don't belong in the red ranks. And when you're more casual and you're more new and you get to red ranks, you're like, oh my god, I'm at red ranks, this is great, I'm a red rank player. Your rank does not equal how skillful you are, and I'm finally happy that Dead by Daylight is addressing this. So let's continue reading. While a player who plays a lot will tend to be better than someone who plays very little, there are also players who are good at the game but don't play enough to reach the upper ranks. So again, ranking isn't an adequate way of them determining are you a good survivor or killer, but it's more related to how much you play the game. And as we all know, you can have like 5,000 hours in the game and still be bad, or 3,000 hours like me and still be bad, you know? So let's continue reading on. To help improve with the fairness factor without sacrificing wait times or pings, we'll be making 2 changes. The first is a new system to better reflect the player's skill level, and the second is to change the matchmaking system to create fairer matches. So great solution so far. Let's see what they're actually going to do now. Going forward, we will use a hidden skill rating for matchmaking purposes. Your skill rating will increase when you do well and decrease when you do poorly. It keeps this as fair as possible. The system will predict the outcome of the match based on the difference in your opponent's rating and adjust the amount of rating changes. If your rating is higher than your opponent, your rating will increase less if you win and drop more if you lose. If your rating is lower than your opponent's, your rating will increase more if you win and drop less if you lose. So long story short, let me break this down into a point system so you guys can understand it a little bit better. So let's say you have 20 points, right? You are an average player. You have 20 points. The more points you have, the better you are. So if you have 20 points and you're matched up with someone with 20 points, you will gain 5 points for winning if you're survivor or killer. So now you'll have 25 points. However, if you lose, you will also drop 5 points since they're both 20. So you'll be at 15 now. However, let's say you are 10 and you're matched up with someone that's in 30. If you lose to this person, instead of losing the same 5 points if you were the same rank, you would lose like, let's say 1 point. So you'll be dropped down to 9. But on the flip side, if you win, instead of gaining only 1 point from going from 10 to 11, you will now go from 10 to maybe 15. So basically, if you beat a better person, you will level up more. Think about it as levels. And if you lose to a worse person, you will rank down more, if that makes sense. So let's continue on reading. This way, even if you aren't perfectly matched with people of the exact same skill level, your rating will not change unfairly. In the future, we would like to extend this system to support different ratings for each killer, so individual rankings for killers, without being immediately matched against high-skilled players. This may not be included in the initial launch of the feature. So basically, every killer is going to have their own rank. And if you play a killer less, your skill rating will be pretty much default. You know, it won't be the best. And if you play a killer more, your kill rating for that is going to be way higher. So that's pretty much how it's going to work. And I'm very interested to see how they put it all together. I hope you guys did understand as well how I explained it, because it makes sense in my head and the way I think about it, but I hope that it makes sense for you guys as well. It would have been so much easier if I had a board and just wrote it down for you guys, but let's continue. Additionally, to make sure that your matches are as fair as possible, we will switching over to batch matchmaking. Currently, our matchmaking system takes the player in queue and looks for a match close to their rank. If it is unable to find an appropriate match, we will gradually expand the search range until it is able to give you a match. This can lead to both unfairness matches and long queue times. The new batch matchmaking will instead pool a larger number of players together, compare their skill levels, and then create the fairest matches possible simultaneously. With a large pool to pick from, we hope to improve the fairness factor of matchmaking while also keeping pings and wait times low. So essentially what this means is that they're going to take all the players together, put them together, and then pick them according to their skill level rather than what rank they are and waiting for queues and things like that. So if you're similar in skill level, you'll just be tossed into a lobby altogether, and you would have fairness in skill, and you'll also have fast queue times. The release of these changes will be gradual. With the release of the mid-chapter updates, we are able to start tracking skill level. For the time being, this is only a test and not being used for matchmaking purposes. Once we are confident skill rating is working as intended, we will be running tests on live servers. When this happens, you may notice some disparity in ranks during your matches. This is as expected, as rank is no longer to be used for matchmaking purposes at this time. To avoid confusion, we are considering removing ranks from the post-match scoreboard once testing is complete and will no longer be relevant to matchmaking. Ranks will remain visible only for you for bragging rights and a goal to work towards, but will be a reflection of your dedication to the game rather than skill for the time being. So now everyone that's like, I'm red ranks, that means I'm good. No, it doesn't. It just means you play the game a lot. And the final note that they have for us here is we are confident that these changes will allow us to create fairer matches without losing sight of our goals to get you into a match as soon as possible with a solid connection. We'll be sure to keep you posted on our progress as we move forward. So that is pretty much going to wrap up everything that was in this post. I hope this makes a lot of sense to you guys. This opens the door to a lot of things. Crossplay was something that I mentioned before. I'm going to save that for another video of how important this change is for crossplay and why I honestly believe that that's what they're moving towards. I mentioned this today on stream before they even announced this, and now it's all falling into place. But that's going to wrap it up for this video, guys. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, make sure you leave a like down below. Subscribe if you are new to the channel. Make sure you come out to our streams for some awesome information, awesome games. We did a giveaway today, and it was really fun. If you did enjoy, leave a like down below. As always, I'm the King. I tip my crown to you guys. We'll see you in the fog.